to the budget statement just presented by the Minister for Finance. And this will be followed later with a more comprehensive response. To start with, as you all heard the Minister has confirmed to the whole world today that the economy we handed over to the NDC government was a strong economy. We have been telling Ghanaians that the economy was not in crisis. President Mahama used the soda over an economy which was not in crisis. And yet he told Ghanaians the economy was in crisis. The Minister for Finance also tried to do the same. But however, we all heard him alluding to the fact that this economy is a strong economy. You watched the hesitation when it came to announcing the growth figures. You also watched with hesitation by the minister when it came to the debt levels, the debt to GDP levels. The reality is that as of the end of last year, 2024, growth rate, real GDP growth, was 5.7%. And this was released just yesterday by the Ghana Statistical Service, confirmed by the minister today. We took over from the NDC in 2016 with a growth rate of 3.4%. 3.4% against 5.7%. Come to the projection for 2025. That is really disturbing and disappointing. An economy that was broken, recording 5.7%, and a reset economy, as we are being told, is projected to grow at 4%. How can we say that this reset economy will be better than the economy that President Mahama was criminally mismanaged and which grew at 5.7%? In terms of gross international reserves, again, with the NDC government, $8.9 billion of gross international reserves. And that was the equivalent of 4 months of import cover. The NDC handed over in 2016 with import cover of 3.5%. In 2016, we left them with 4 months of import cover. In this year's budget, 2025, they are projecting to achieve 3 months of import cover, which is even worse than what they recorded in 2016. Are we moving forward or we are moving backward? So if a broken economy could leave 4 months of import cover, how come a reset economy is contemplating going back to 3 months of import cover? Ladies and gentlemen, the debt to GDP of Ghana, they have made all the noise about the MPP government excessively borrowing. The debt to GDP at the end of 2024 was 61.8%. Debt to GDP ratio, 61.8%. NDC, when they left office in 2016, it was 73%. It was not until when the GDP was rebased in 2018 that it came to 56%. But the real debt to GDP when they left government was 73%. We left government with 61.8%. It means that Ghana is no longer heavily indebted. We have brought Ghana to debt sustainability path. And we are just left with little percentage points to achieve the IMF target of 55%. If you have 61.8%, we are talking about 6 percentage points to achieve the IMF target of 55%, which Ghana is supposed to achieve by 2028. But ladies and gentlemen, as of 2024, we already have achieved 61.8%. This economy, they said, was a broken economy, ended with a debt to GDP ratio of 61.8%. We have left with the NDC just 6 percentage points to achieve the 55%. But looking at the way they've started borrowing, I am worried. I am worried if they will not jeopardize the achievement, the gains that we have handed over to them. Trade balances have been confirmed today to be in surpluses. Trade balance is in surplus. The current account balance is in surplus. This cannot be a broken economy. The fiscal data was what the minister tried to use to misinform Ghanaians about the economy we handed over to them. The minister was quoting a fiscal deficit on commitment basis of about 8.3% and primary balance of about 3.7% deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, these are cooked figures. These are cooked figures. They have manipulated the data, and we know how they did it. They created a new line called unreleased claims, amounting to 49 billion Ghana cedis. And that is what they have put in the fiscal data to manipulate it to the levels of deficit they are complaining about. But I can tell you, we left a surplus primary balance. When we interrogate the data, every Ghanaian will know that we left a primary balance of a surplus of 0.7% on commitment basis. Ladies and gentlemen, they're talking about IMF, that we have breached the IMF program. I am so shocked that a minister of finance will be announcing the breach of the IMF program even before the IMF starting the review in April. The Minister for Finance is already giving a judgment that we have breached the IMF program. This has never happened in the history of this country, that a minister will be happy for his country to breach when the IMF has not said so. And that should tell the Ghanaian the lamentation and the misinformation they are carrying out to the world. When a country breaches the IMF program, it has serious implications for attracting investment into the country. This Minister for Finance is appealing to investors to come to Ghana, and the same minister is telling them that the economy is bad when the evidence doesn't support what he said. Is he attracting investment, or he is driving away investments? This is not the way to govern a country. Gentlemen and ladies, the minister also talked about the $10 billion big push. $10 billion big push. And in this budget, he allocated $800 million. $800 million to the big push projects in this budget. When they want to spend $10 billion, assuming they even average $1 billion, they increase it to $1 billion average a year, they will not even be reaching $5 billion by the end of their term. So the jobs they are promising Ghanaians, they are Sakawa jobs. The jobs will not come. They are already failing in their promise as far as the big push is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, they talked about the 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy is supposed to incentivize industry to grow the economy. We left government with industry performing 7%. But if you look at the average industry performance from this year, 2025, to 2028, by the time they leave government, it is only 5%. Average industry growth, 5% for the next 4 years. When MPP recorded 7% in 2024. 24-hour economy is another Sakawa. the jobs they are promising will not happen. The budget did not address the cost of living issues. Cost of living issues haven't been addressed. Transport fares continue to increase. The budget did not address how they are going to ensure that petroleum product prices do not increase. And once petroleum product prices continue to increase, transport fares will continue to increase. This budget did not address that. This budget did not address energy bills, electricity bills. They didn't talk about how they are going to reduce energy bills. They didn't talk about how to decrease water bills. All these bills will continue to increase, looking at the indicators that we are seeing. And we thought that having campaigned on cost of living crisis and came to power with the support of the Ghanaian people, the least the government could do was to present a budget that will address the cost of living crisis in terms of transport fares, in terms of petroleum product prices, in terms of energy bills. But even when we come to taxes, the minister announced that they are abolishing VAT on motor insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, we were already not collecting VAT on motor insurance. VAT on motor insurance was exempted. Rather, the minister was trying to be smart. They have reintroduced VAT on non-life insurance, with the exception of the motor vehicle insurance. So all other insurance, given that the penetration of the insurance industry is just 1.1%, we are so shocked that the minister will reintroduce VAT on non-life insurance, except motor vehicle insurance. So let us not rejoice over the removal of these taxes, which we expected. What we did not expect was the reintroduction of VAT on insurance. They've also increased the growth and stability levy from 1% to 3% for the mining sector and extended the sunset period from 2025 to 2028. When you heard the minister talking about growth, he said that the growth was influenced by the extractives. And so, how can you tax a sector which is giving you growth? The sector that is giving you growth is the sector you want to go and tax. This is not good for industry. This is not good for economic growth. And this is not good for the development of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implement the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to deceive the people of Ghana. My brothers and sisters, they are talking also about gold board. It's important I address this. The gold board, as you heard the minister talk about, is to be financed from the budget. The minister is allocating $279 million to the gold board. We have never funded the gold purchase program or gold for oil program from the budget. It's never happened. And so to fund the gold board from the budget, in our view, is just to put in money to be benefited by NDC cronies. It is to create loot and share. The Bank of Ghana was funding the gold for purchase program from a revolving fund, and therefore it did not affect the taxpayer. Now you have a gold board which is going to rely on the taxpayer. We think that this is create, loot, and share, and we will resist it. Let me also say that the women banking that they said they were going to set up, they have allocated a paltry sum of 50 million Ghana cedis, 51 million Ghana cedis, 51 million Ghana cedis. And the capital requirement is 400 million for banks to be set up. So what are you telling Ghanaian women? Even when you have your vice president being the first woman to occupy that position, we are throwing dust in the eyes of the Ghanaian people, particularly our women. who really need all the support we can provide to them. Let me add also on free senior high school program. Free senior high school program is so important for Ghanaians. The NDC, as the minister said, there is no dedicated funding for free senior high school. That is not true. That is not true. The free senior high school program is funded from the goods and services component of ABFA. That is how we have funded free senior high school. Now he is deciding to uncap GET fund with the view to using the uncapped amount to fund free senior high school. But GET fund is for infrastructure. GET fund is used for infrastructure. Free senior high school is mostly about goods and services. And this is why we applied the goods and services component of the ABFA to fund free senior high school program. Very soon, Ghanaians will see whether they can provide sustainable funding for free senior high school. Back, therefore, parents should pay. That is what they are trying to do. But we will expose them anytime they try to do this. Also, the Agenda 11 projects, we had a dedicated funding source for it. We were funding it with the CAPEX component of ABFA allocated to GIF. The minister is taking that money from GIF. He has indicated that GIF will no longer have that money, which means that there will not be any dedicated funding for Agenda 11 projects, and which means that the president does not intend to complete these projects, which are needed badly by our people in all the districts across the country. They are also talking about allocating some money for nurse allowance and teacher allowance. We thought he would have commended the MPP government. After they abolished nurse allowance and teacher allowance, we brought it in. They are continuing with it, and they are allocating money towards it, and they want to take credit for this. This cannot happen. If you recall, the Minister for Education said teacher training allowance was no longer going to be viable. But the Ghanaian people, led by we, the mighty minority, we opposed them, we chastised them, we condemned that attempt to end teacher training allowance. And this is why they have chickened out. And instead of admitting to the Ghanaian people that they've gotten some sense from the mighty minority, they want to take credit for that. I thank you very much, but I want to assure you that this is just preliminary response. Tomorrow, we have a major press conference to give a comprehensive response. It is not going to be for girls. It's going to be for all Ghanaians, all the Ghanaian people. Thank you very much. So this budget is called what? Adaadaa budget. Adaadaa budget.